I got to tell you, it's great to see athletes live up to the hype. Like, before that even started, they were talking about Chloe Kim so much. I was like, okay, I hope she performs because they are really, really selling Chloe Kim.
This stuff's getting crazy, man. I mean, 1080s, so that's like 3 full revolutions there?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember years ago, maybe late 90s, watching X Games on TV, and Tony Hawk was skateboarding, and there was all this buzz going on. He's going to try a 720 or a 900. I think it was a 900. He's going to try the 900. Like, the 900? What's a 900? And he started, do the math. Okay, 2.5. Got it. Okay. Yeah. And he kept trying to do it, and he couldn't land it, and he tried like 4 times. You would think after that many attempts, you're not going to get better at it because you're going to be so tired. He finally lands it, and the place went nuts. It was like the thing of the X Games in 1999 or 2000, whatever it was. And we're talking about 1080s and snowboards and women doing it. It's incredible.
Yeah, but how many 420s is that, Gator?
Every day. Every day.
Your feedback brought to you by Indeed, and I will tell you, there is still tension between skiers and snowboarders in real life. Skiers and snowboarders hated each other because boarders used everything as a terrain park feature and treated skiers with disdain. Their skateboard culture did not work well with the ski culture. Adding terrain parks helps smooth things out. As a skier, I now say bring them on since they buy about half of all lift tickets. Boarders keep the areas open for us two-plank fossils. That's from Dennis and Novi. Yes, snowboarders still camp out in droves at the top of runs to strap in. I understand why, but get the hell out of the way when you do it. Why don't snowboarders wear the skin-tight aerodynamic gear like the downhillers? Won't that give them better amplitude on the jumps? That's from Matt.
Why is that, Doug? Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, the skiers have a chance to fall too, right? If it's a protection issue or anything like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Because I think that's true. They'd have less drag, right?
Why are you trying to mellow their high, man? Just let them enjoy it.
Skiers hate snowboarders because skiers are old people who can't snowboard. They think they're thugs. I don't do either, but you sound pathetic.
Not thugs, punks.
And by you, does he mean the skiers or us? I'm confused. I don't think you could say snowboarders are always that nonchalant and don't care like Red Gerard. I think it's more that he's 17, and every 17-year-old would act like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of part
accurate.
of it. Yeah. He's even quoted as saying he didn't even know the Olympics was that big of a deal. Because he grew up with X Games, the Duke Games. You know, that's what he considers a big deal.
Yep.
He's like, Olympics.
X Games, right. Not the O Games. Snowboarders completely screw up the mountain, scraping all the snow off. They should let rookie boarders on the. They should not let rookie boarders on the best steep blacks. That's from Glenn. Ashley says, so what's the thing about snowboarders? Why do they stick their tongue out when the camera zooms in on them, regardless of what country they're from? Don't know.
Have you seen, I just retweeted this. Brad Galley has a GIF of the Team USA, the women's hockey.
Yeah.
And USA's Jocelyn Lamoureux scores.
Yeah.
It's an incredible goal. I don't know if you've seen this. I just retweeted it. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Was it? I know that we scored goals 6 seconds.
Yeah,
apart.
somebody scored twice. I don't know if it was her or not. Scored 2 goals in 6 seconds.
Yeah. Are you hiring with Indeed? You could post a job in minutes, set up a screener question, then zero in on qualified candidates in an online dashboard. Get started at Indeed.com/hire. 248-539-9797. Open lines. Ticket text 97136. All right, man. Pistons went away over the weekend and everything fell apart. What the hell happened? Things were going so well. And, I didn't think the schedule was toughening up. Like, this is a concern. Yeah, they had to go on the road, but it wasn't going to get that much tougher until after the All-Star break. And they lost to the Hawks, man. The Hawks.
Yeah, I know they lost to the Hawks. They lost to the Clippers, the Hawks, and now they lost to the Pelicans. And they haven't played much defense in either of those games. The one last night, look, they're playing a pretty good team in New Orleans, but that's a team the Pistons have to beat or have to show they can beat. And they didn't do it. And it was such a lackluster effort. I don't care if it's a second of back-to-back games. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's how the Pistons won the 5 games they won on that streak, because all those teams were playing back-to-back games and they were the second half of them. But it doesn't matter. You got to win games. They should have beaten Atlanta at Atlanta. That's an embarrassing loss when you lose to a team that at the time had 17 wins. But, Doug, sadder yet is now we're going to have to retire a bit, and I don't like this.
You don't like what?
This is no longer.
What is no longer?
We can't do the LeVar Ball thing anymore.
I don't get it. You hated LeVar Ball.
I'm not a fan of his, but it was fun to hear the soundbite.
Hey, let's be honest. You just liked it because I hated it.
Well, it's a big part of it.
Defeated. Lost.
What?
Lost.
They lost.
Yeah, see?
Defeated.
Defeated and
Defeated.
lost.
Lost.
I like it.
Hurts. It hurts now.
Well, I like that they lost one game so we can retire that. However,
3 in a row is no good.
3 in a row is bad. And look, as good as things looked, now it looks bad because they've dropped 3 games out of the playoffs. And, sinking into the lottery is not the plan with Blake. They have to pull things together here a little bit because I still think the East is wide open for a team like the Pistons to get hot. And by East being wide open, I mean seeds 3 through 8.
They are a night and day different team on these streaks. I suppose that's why you're a streaky team. You look great when you win. You look horrible when you lose. But there is no defensive effort. And I think they've given up over 100 points in 9 of the last 10 games. What I watched last night, I was fuming at the TV watching it because it seemed like every trip up the court, the Pistons had to work for their baskets, had to work for their shots and get them to fall. And if they got the big shot to fall, it took like 3 seconds and the Pelicans scored because they didn't get back on defense. Or let's say they did get back, then the Pelicans would set up, pass the ball around 3 or 4 times, and somebody is wide open. Like it was uncanny how many open shots New Orleans got.
Well, here's the thing. I'll just ask the obvious question. Because they haven't been the same since they traded Willie Reed.
Obviously.
So is it a 1-to-1 correlation?
And Bryce Johnson, right?
No, the Blake bump. I mean, they got a Blake bump. And there was an excitement that seemed to permeate the roster. It wasn't just fans, it was the roster. But when we even acknowledged it last week, when things were going well, this can wear off.
Yeah, it can wear off. And something I brought up yesterday is a real concern of mine, and that is it's not the adjustment period to Blake Griffin. Now, to me, it's the adjustment period of Ennis and Nelson, and then another adjustment period they're going to have to make when Reggie Jackson comes back. Because you're taking minutes away from guys that had gotten minutes and flourished with minutes. And now you're putting Ennis and Nelson in the mix, so that means less time for Ish Smith, less time for Stanley Johnson, less time for Tolliver, or however they're going to divvy up these minutes. And those guys are really, they kind of took the ball and ran with it. We're doing really well. And not that these other guys shouldn't get their minutes because they're quality players too, but it changes the chemistry a little bit. And then you're going to change it again in a couple 3 weeks, whenever it is that Reggie Jackson comes back, because now you've got your starting point guard back. So if you get into a rhythm now in the next 2 weeks with Jameer Nelson, then you're going to change it up again. I said yesterday, it's unfortunate that the trades didn't happen with 40 games left because they would have had time to acclimate. Now there are, 26 games left in the season, and I don't know if that's enough time to really make this strong run and jump ahead of at least one team and hopefully 2. Now, fortunately for them, Miami and Philadelphia are both 3 games ahead of the Pistons. They stand in 7th and 8th spot. So they need one of those teams not to play great down the stretch. But if you want the Pistons to make noise, the Pistons do have to play great down the stretch.
248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136.